This is Sizzling Saturday, and this is the Afterburn, and we're joined by Joe of the Village Butcher. Tell us a little bit about the Village Butcher, and tell us about what you're about to show us, mate.
Yeah, so we just obviously your average, not so average village butcher. Just trying to keep it local, and you know, deal with farmers around us, and do a bit of aging, and you know, try and keep a bit of sort of traditional butchery, farming, and all the rest of it with a modern twist. And you know, our website's quite fresh and up to date. Want to try and keep it clean and modern, but doing everything that tradition does. So we deal with everyone as local as possible. We've been doing a little bit with some Scotch farmers and an abattoir up there in Scotland as well on the beef, which is quality. Just trying to sort of do a bit of keep it local, nice and fresh. We age a bit, like the lambs.
Right.
Sort of age for about 5 days. We hang the lambs as well.
You're a little bit quiet there, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad line. I can't hear you very well, to be honest with you, Hillary.
Oh, I haven't said much. I've been thinking about lamb. I've been listening to you.
More of the, the promo video is really cool. I wish we was a little bit more fun in this country. Do I understand this right? There's 2 lambing seasons in Australia. Is that right?
There's 2, is it? Oh,
I think so, yeah. I think there's sort of 2.
Because there's a couple of different states and a couple of different areas, so there's quite different climate.
Yeah, that's possibly it. Yeah.
You're coming in and out, mate.
Say that again, mate.
Ah, that's better. Yeah, we can hear you now. Sorry, you're fading away. I think you go too far.
It's a bit of a bad line. I can't hear you very well myself.
Okay, Martin Pimentel, how are you, mate? He's a good lad. I know that fella. He's an Aussie. Well, he's an Aussie. He loves his lamb. North Shore boy. Anyway, long story. But
it'd be nice if we'd done a few promo videos to launch the barbecue season.
Let's
really cool videos.
Let's do something. Let's go out. There's the I think it's called the AHDB, the DBAH.
Yeah. It's a cool video. I like it.
Yeah, but there's a British version of the Lamb Council.
Oh, there is one?
Yeah, but they don't do the videos like that.
I haven't seen that.
No, but I'm having a yarn to them. I want to make one. I want to be in it.
You want to see a bit of land get busted up?
Love to, mate. So what are you doing now? What are you going to do now, mate?
Well, we're wrapping up, really. Obviously, we've shut in an hour, so we're wrapping up, getting nice and empty for the weekend, as we like it. But yeah, we'll bust you a lamb up. Okay. 1 second.
So, as in,
little bits left, nice and empty fridge there. Look, aging up.
Oh my God. Oh.
Do your little lamb here, look.
Okay, so tell us about this lamb. Where did it come from?
So these are.
It's a bit quiet, mate. You might have to hold your phone quite close to you. But anyway, here we go. Look at this. Folks, mate. All right, let's just
See one.
So that's the
shoulders off.
The shoulders, yeah.
Taking the breasts off now.
What do you do with lamb breast?
This is Richard's first lamb that he's ever broken down. Yeah, I've never done it before. He's never done this before.
Mate, he's talented. What did he used to do before he started cutting lambs? That'd be the question.
No, he's done it all his life. This is more like his 1 millionth lamb.
Okay.
Kidneys out, that's the front off there. So your breasts are off now.
Yeah.
Shoulders off, that's your scragger middle, your stewing lamb.
Stewing lamb, yeah, okay.
My best end there, look, for your cutlets and, those racks that you've got there, Hillary. Your racks come out of here.
So tell us about how the chops fit in.
So yeah, so that's what's called a best end, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where your cutlets and your racks come from. You see the 4-bone racks that you've got there.
Yep.
And then obviously you take this middle bone out here.
Yep.
And split it down the middle there.
Yep.
And then this is all trimmed up. Yeah, we'll take that back. The legs are off, look.
Show us the Barnsley chop. Where's the Barnsley chop come from?
This is your chine. That's where your Barnsleys are. So obviously you cut that across there. And that's Barnsley chops.
That's how that one's looking at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. That's that. That's what you can see there, look. That's your lamb rumps there.
Ooh.
Yeah, go for that. This is where you cut this out.
Okay, what are these? Hang on. Sorry for the silence, everyone. This is mine.
Yeah, this is your best end. This is where those cutlets that you've got in your hand come from, yeah? So you take this middle bone out like that. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah?
Mate.
Keep going, mate.
And this is, you're about to do the Frenching of some ribs.
This is French trimming it, yeah.
Why do they call it French trimming?
Well, the French take everything right back, so it's just a bit of a technique that they do that's different to us, really.
Is there English trimming? We should think of some British trimming or something, mate.
Don't really go quite so far back as a rule, but obviously this has caught on. This has been done for years now, but I think it's originally a French thing, you know.
Okay. Just makes it a bit neater and tidier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, the bones don't have the sort of scraggly bits on them. What do you do with all the offcuts and everything? With all the bits you cut off, mate?
Some go to waste, and then obviously some goes into like burgers and kofta kebabs and things like that, you know.
Ah, okay.
That's your rack, look. Cut it now. Cut it off? Yeah, cut it now. And then cut the cutlets.
Oh, wow.
That's your little bone rack like that. Watch that, Hillary. Watch that.
Mate. I'm just going to flip a few things here, but wow, that's ridiculously big, mate.
You like that?
They're cutlets, are they?
There you cutlet. They're both from your best end.
Yeah.
So the other side of it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you trim it back to that. Trim it back to that. That's your racks. What you've then crusted up on the top. And then if you just slice between the bones, then you get your cutlets like that.
Holy smoke.
Make sense?
I think this is wonderful, mate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's just interesting to know where it all comes from, mate. You know, it all works. You know, I think one big thing for our audience and everybody that watches is it's really good to appreciate where our food comes from. You know, it is, you know, it was a living creature. Man had a good life out at a farm.
That's right.
And, you know,
in all honesty, English lamb at the minute, sort of getting towards the end of its life, where we're waiting for the new season now. Really, we're like a month or two away from the new season coming through.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously they're bigger and carry a bit more fat at this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we buy a particular size, so we buy 19 to 22 kilo whole lambs. So you can sort of manage it a little bit better there. You know, when you specify size.
Yeah.
Because as they get older, obviously they call it teething, and they start to grow teeth. They then go into a sort of another bracket, and then when they sort of get over a year old, they call it mutton. And obviously there is a sort of a bracket, if you like. So new season will sort of start February, March, but then they can still, you know, come for a little bit longer than that. And then obviously when, like this time of year, now we're looking at sort of 9 months old, they're getting out of the bracket of lamb, if you like.
Okay, yeah.
But obviously, like I say, we choose A size, so you get the sort of consistency of the fat and all the rest of it as best as you can throughout the whole period of the year, you know.
Okay. And is it a particular breed of sheep that you use, or that make lamb?
These are mainly Texel lambs, but
Texel.
there's a few different ones that are, you know, better and worse.
What dictates the sort of breed? Is it more about where they grow up and what they eat and climate and all of that?
Yeah, so some of them are sort of like hill farmed and things like that, you know, and then there's like hardier ones like that are obviously sort of, say, Scotch lambs that are, you know, they can sort of survive in sort of more extreme weather conditions and all the rest of it. It's all just sort of and it's a different sort of, not texture as such, but like makeup of the muscle then, where they've sort of lived on hills and things like that. They've done a bit more exercise, so you get a bit harder and softer eating meat, darker and lighter sort of muscle, and then obviously taste varies slightly as well, you know.
Okay, yeah, no, it's always, you know, you think of lamb as just sort of one breed, all right, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah.
As just sort of, you know, a sheep that had wool, you know, and out it would go, but then you sort of start to realise that there's lots of different breeds. They're specific to different areas due to the climate and what they can eat.
So there's different breeds, and then obviously, like I say, they're hardier, and some of them are, you know, meant for they're hill farmed and things like that, so they're stronger, or they're a bit more susceptible to colder weather, things like that. But yeah, no, there's loads of different breeds, but obviously, like rare breeds and that, it's a little bit of preference, you know. It's the same sort of thing as, you know, your Angus beef and your different sort of breeds of cattle and all the rest of it. So it sort of comes down to where they're farmed. You know, if they're not hardy, you know, they won't survive. Say they're in the Highlands of Scotland, they're not, you know, their coats are not thick enough and various things like that, which is the makeup. And then what they're fed, obviously. So if they're on like heather or salt marsh, or there's other sort of it's not like a black and white situation where one will eat and taste completely different to the other. They are still lambs, but obviously there's slight variations across the breeds. And then obviously, as I say, if they've eaten heather or grass, or whether they're on you know, like grains or whatever substitutes that they feed.
It's like wine, mate. It's like wine. It's like terroir, you know. It's about the terroir, the where they've grown up and all of that sort of thing. And you know, I think a lot of that's down to the individual farmers.
Yeah, where they are in the sea level, you know, like the grapes and all that, and the amount of sunlight they get. The same sort of factors. So the different, you know.
All right, we're losing you here a bit, Joe.
That they, you know, the weather that they sustain and all, and as I say, the food and all that they eat, that sort of is the build-up of the taste and the texture, if you like, you know. But they are lambs at the end of the day, and it is lamb. It's not like, oh, that tastes like a pork chop, if you know what I mean. It still tastes like lamb, but they have their variations on bite, you know, how they bite, how they eat, whether they're tougher or a little bit tougher or a little bit softer, or carry a bit more fat, or, you know, the meat is visibly lighter or darker. Again, that's got an age factor to it as well, depending on how old they get. Because obviously the farmers grow them to a size. So depending on how long it takes them to get to that size, and there's variations, obviously. It's like humans, you know.
Exactly.
There's fat, skinny people here and everywhere else, you know. They're variable, but
exactly. You know, you've got like Jack out in Walthamstow. You know, he has quite a different diet, and it's a little bit more hilly out there. And, you know, I'm here in Stoke Newington, and a little bit flatter and a little bit easier grazing around here. You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, oh no, that's great, mate. No, it's really interesting to know, and I think certainly from my point of view, and well, and Jack's point of view, is we just like to make sure that people know a little bit more about what they're eating, where it comes from. You know, the different meats. You know, lamb isn't just lamb. You know, you don't. You know, think beyond the supermarket and you know, get in and have a yarn to your butcher. You know,
No, that's
you buy
right.
it online through village butchers. You know, ask a few questions. You know,
No, that's
make sure
right.
that
And
keep Joe on his toes. You know, make sure he knows
that's
what.
right.
You know,
We answer any questions, obviously, Hillary. You can email us. We've got sort of you can ask questions against all of our products. So every product's got on the website, it's got like a box where you can question us, and we'll reply by email, or obviously Facebook, Instagram. We respond to all of those. You know, like sort of cooking tips and recipe ideas and things like that. But again, this is another thing that we're working on with our new website. We'll have all recipe ideas on all of the products, nutritional values. You know, a lot of the questions that we get asked frequently is another main reason why we're developing the new site, so we can have the sort of depth against all of the individual products as well, if you understand what I mean, because we get a lot of the same questions, as you can imagine. And we want to sort of just make it sort of a bit more effortless to become aware, you know, and things like this as well. It's nice to do, and a lot of people are not aware, you know, and it's all very normal for me, if you know what I mean. But obviously, what's obvious to me isn't obvious to everyone else as such, and it's nice, and people do like it, you know. We have people in here that end up in here chatting away for half hour, 45 minutes. What's this? Where's that? Blah blah blah, and bust it down for them, and they get to see that. And then it's you know, just even like busting that lamb there, you know, you get to see where the chops are from, and people are not. It's almost like what some people think. It's like a cardboard box coming off of a production line. Well, it's not, because, as I say, the variables between humans is the same with animals. You know, they're fatter, skinnier. They've lived in a colder climate, hotter climate. They've eaten different things. All of those variables, obviously, play a factor in the makeup of what ends up being on your plate. You know, so it's all and then once it gets to sort of us, and we're butchering it down and all the rest of it, people still not really aware. You know, like the noisettes, for example. A noisette's effectively a lamb chop, a boneless lamb chop.
Yeah.
But you'd never know that unless you sort of, you know, you could.
Yeah, ask and have look. And to be honest, I'm not going to know, because the missus Nick knows. So
You've got the bit. I prefer it with a bit of bone, Hillary. Anyway, to be honest, yeah.
Exactly. Hopefully, I haven't promised photos of the those million chops here, because I think I've got one left. I've eaten the rest.
So that again, mate. I lost you there.
Yeah. No, exactly, mate. You know, it's in the tasting, and you know, hopefully, I haven't promised you pictures of those lamb chops, because I think I've just eaten them all. I think I've got one left. I've got two left.
That actually went down well.
Oh, mate, they're sensational. Wow, they're truly superb, mate. So, all right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Joe. Is there a message you'd like to pass on to the audience and everybody that, you know, is looking to buy some lamb out there, or looking to buy?
Yeah, just thank you as well, obviously, and yeah, just check it out. Have a look on the website. We're here to answer any questions as well, obviously. So, and keep an eye out for the got Valentine's offer going out. What Jack was mentioning about the wine, it's going out this weekend. You can order now for Friday the 12th delivery for Valentine's Day, and then obviously the new website will be a couple of months away, probably.
Nice. All right, mate. Well,